My grandmother and I had a garden in our backyard.
My mom always had a garden, and I'd help weed.
My dad had a garden.
You know, every system here is seeming to crash. When we found out that the city was planning on widening one of the roads and taking out one of the only grocery stores, it was very disheartening to see that happening, and that's not an acceptable practice. There are people here that are starving that have no need of starving. You know, food is not a privilege, it's a right. And the one thing that people can always do is grow their own food.
This is a garden that we're choosing to call 2-ton farm. We have a short-term lease to use this land to grow food. We've been able to put in 12 beds. We started on May 1st, so about a month and a half ago, and we're hoping to grow several tons of food here. You look at the average meal, like most things from even good places like Whole Foods or the co-op are coming from as far away as California or Chile or South Africa, all over the world. And so there's a big push for local food, and I think that's really great. I think that it has to be something that everyone does, that many, many people are a part of, and that means growing food in the heart of the city. Especially in Durham, we have a lot of vacant lots, abandoned lots, and also a lot of grassy areas that may be nice to sit on, but they suck a lot of water, and they're not good for the bees, they're not good for the birds, and you don't really get a lot out of them other than aesthetic.
Well, most people, when they think of farm, and even when the North Carolina Department of Agriculture defines a farm, it's not a farm until it's more than 10 acres. But in actuality, you know, we're just going back to what people have had always done. We've been sort of weaned off of a lot of life skills through industrial agriculture and really a poisoned food system in many cases. And our whole thing here is really to show what can be done in a small amount of space. We want to be able to give people the autonomy again to be able to grow some of their own food and provide affordable access to local food.
Born and raised in Durham, I live right down the street, as a matter of fact. So this is my home, this is my community as of right now. So I mean, as to do something like this and to maybe make a difference in the community, I think we've already made a big impact on the community, and I hope to continue to do so.
I guess during my whole, like, me being alive and existing, I've seen, like, one disaster after another, after another, after another. I mean, you having earthquakes and tsunamis and hurricanes and killing, like, lots and lots of people. And so I figure since most people are doing so much bad stuff, you know, polluting the earth and everything, why not me do something good? Maybe it'll make a difference in the end. And that's why I stayed.
I've been amazed at some of the resistance to the look. You know, people are really attached to the lawn. That can be kind of tricky to get around that and sell people on the idea that growing food can be really beautiful, and it doesn't just have to be in a box in your backyard, but it can be in the front of the house, and it's absolutely gorgeous, and it's a community resource.
This space is 3,000 square feet, and so with our methods where we're constantly replenishing the soil, composting hundreds of pounds of food waste per week, also cover cropping, we can grow between 2 and 3.5 pounds of food per square foot.
So this particular space is in a land trust. So there is an urban land trust here in Durham. It's called Cornucopia, and this land is in that trust. So that's going to ensure that we're able to grow in this space, and even if it's not Bountiful Backyards and GSI growing, that someone else can use this land in order to grow food.
Every individual has this in their blood. I think that if there's one thing that we do and do well is to demystify people about how easy it is to grow food. You don't need to go to college to do it. You don't need to go to long and expensive courses. You know, the most important thing is to get a yield.
I wish you could have seen what this looked like before we got here.
Just a
and
lawn.
yeah, just the lawn, and the transformation has been awesome. It's also given me a chance to reconnect with the land and my heritage and my ancestry that I hold very dear. And being able to bring that with me every day has just been more than what I could imagine. So I'm very grateful for that.
I have a lot of respect for this community, and I want to see this community thrive. And I really don't want to see people forced out or anything like that. So if I can make any way possible for living in this community better, which I have strong confidence this 2-ton farm will, I'd love to see that happen.